We're here. It's episode 154 of the Whole Back Rack podcast. It's time for sponsor time. We're all here. Reptilia.com for all of your testing needs. Use code #ShitHappens for $5 off the crypto panel or any other testing you might want to do. Check them out. Check them out. We need it. Apparently there's a... I don't know if y'all heard about this. I guess we're getting into news already. Everyone's canceling shows in the Midwest because of nidovirus. Did you hear about this? And I'm like, it's not airborne. Are you guys okay? And I'm like, what? What is going on? So everybody needs to go to vetini.com is what I'm saying and get your stuff squared away. Thank you, Raul. Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics. He will be at the Charlotte ARPE in September 21st and 22nd. Are you guys vending that?
No.
No?
Not doing that one.
Are you going to visit?
The herp show down there again?
No, the All-American Plant and Reptile Expo.
Oh, yeah, that one we're doing, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're like one of like 3 plant vendors.
They didn't like secure like greenhouse people?
I mean, it wasn't on that like list that you see scrolling. I saw us and then Heartleaf Tropicals, my friend Jeff, and then I saw a carnivorous, something to do with something, Venus flytraps or something.
All right, well, you're going to kill it, so congratulations.
Yeah. I got to go all out.
Yeah. And also, who's going to kill it? Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics, because he's saving up a bunch of hoggies and fun ball pythons to vend there. And I was like, are you going to bring some plants for fun? He's like, no way. And I'm like, maybe you should.
No.
Maybe you should. Oh, man. Bravo Zulu Ball Pythons. Eileen, our women veteran-owned ball python breeding company. She has a adult proven breeder puzzle male. If you're interested in getting the puzzle project and you want to just start making hets or working on your double hets, check out Eileen for a big proven breeder male puzzle ball python. Thank you, Eileen. And Justin Brill, Stoneage Ball Pythons, he's going to be at Pack Noirs in Puyallup, Washington, July 13th and 14th. So next weekend. And then the weekend following that, they will be on not a member live, it'll be like replacing the member live that week, like a show report, just to show what kind of ball pythons are selling in the Pacific Northwest and what the vibes are. Thank you, Justin. Andrew Boring, he's into ball pythons, leopard geckos, rodents, gopher cocoa, Stimsons, other stuff. He will also be at Pack Norris July 13th and 14th. And I think I'm going to try to get them together, get the dream team back together to do the Pacific Northwest roundup. So check him out if you need rodents or gopher cocoa in the Tacoma, Seattle area. Thank you, Andrew. Great Family Snakes. They're doing it. They're also going to be at ARPE. I'm so glad they got into it. Are y'all vending next to each other?
I mean, I don't know if we got to pick that. Like, we're doing a corner. You either pick like a corner, a wall, or a center or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I think if you messaged Nick and asked nice, they're like cool about it.
So that he asked them to, but that
okay,
we haven't heard anything.
He just said that.
Okay. Yeah, ask them. I heard they are pretty cool about it.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. Oh, and
I don't want to be beside. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's got to keep me company when he doesn't talk.
Yeah, we vended next to them in our last show. That was
well, it was really just Lori.
Roger, what were you doing?
More important things.
Probably working. Unacceptable. All right, Chris at BS Reptilia. I haven't heard about what happened at Werfelfest. I'm sure some libations were consumed and things happened, and I'll get the update, I'm sure, pretty soon. But he has lots of Pituophis clutches, ball pythons, boas, all coming online soon, and he'll also be at a show on the weekend of July 13th and 14th, or just July 13th at the Oaks Reptile Show in Gettysburg on July 20th. Oh, 4 kids. That's what Roger was doing. Yeah. That's pretty good. All right. Thanks all the sponsors. Now we're doing it. Whew. Okay. So did you start vending with just ball pythons first and then added species, or were you always doing different species and plants and stuff from the beginning?
No, it was just ball pythons. It wasn't long after that I got crested geckos, and I actually just kind of stumbled upon those too. And then I also stumbled upon 2 leopard geckos that needed new homes, and I just ended up, I liked them. So then one of them started, the crested geckos, female, started laying eggs, and I had a male, and I was like, well, might as well not waste it, so kind of threw myself into it. But yeah, it was just ball pythons at first.
Do you feel like you've noticed, I don't know, benefits or negatives to having multiple species at shows that you want to comment on?
I mean, I try to keep it small with the lizards, geckos, that kind of stuff. Our main focus is ball pythons, and then I have the plants. We usually have it set up to where he can man the ball python questions, but I'm there to also greet them when they come up to the table. But it hasn't so far, because I try to keep it low, 1-2 clutches a year. That way they're in there too, in the, display case as well. So it makes it easier. It hasn't been a problem.
Yeah, I've noticed that some people might be looking at the ball pythons, enjoying them, and then see the leopard gecko and then just get distracted. Maybe they were interested in the ball pythons, but then just get distracted and then they walk off.
But it's actually mostly it's totally opposite. They'll see the next level display and assume that it's just ball pythons, and they'll keep going. So that's why we try to put the geckos on the edge, so that they're like, oh, a gecko, because if they just see that it's a bunch of snakes, a lot of them that are scared of snakes will just move on. So,
do you do a deli display or loose delis for your geckos at this point?
I've done all of the above. I actually did a whole the enclosure for them for the smaller crested geckos, but I've tried the deli thing too. But with it being over the weekend and stuff, for the leopard geckos at least, I like having them on that heat from the next level display. So I'll put them in I'll take 2 compartments and open the space, and then put in a little hide for them at night, and whatever I need to do. So we kind of skip the deli cup route. But I mean, if I did do deli cups, they're not the circular kind. They're bigger. I don't know. I don't like deli cups.
Like the square food service ones, or rectangular? Yeah.
Because what I do is I melt holes into the side of it. So all they got to do is cut, and that can be their human hide. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. So you get a human hide, but it's also what you carry your gecko home with.
Do you use the Chinese food ones that are black bottom with the clear top? Yeah. Yeah. I use those as overflow baby colubrid houses, if I have too many for my racks.
Yeah, because those are pretty small.
Yeah. So, and you can just throw them, a lot of the little colubrids, you can just throw them in your snake room, your warm room on ambient, and they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one hognose once.
Are you thinking about doing it again?
No.
Why not? Why not? What?
Watching her eat was the most uninteresting thing I've ever.
You don't like an animal that starts in the middle of the hot dog?
Here's the dang thing, and it was and then it took forever for it to swallow it. I'm like, that poor thing was alive for at least 30 minutes. I don't know. It was interesting. Not for me. And it hisses a lot. All it did was hiss. Even if it was happy, it was hissing.
Yeah. Some people love that. And then some people are like, why? Why are you like that?
It's a little dramatic. Yeah.
Jennifer says, I think there's something to that. When I see acrylic display, I just keep walking because it's just another BP table.
Yeah.
Sometimes having delis signals the species potential that's in there.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering, if you had the next level and just put ball pythons in it, but had another kind that was just for leopard geckos, but still had heat, and then another kind that just had crested geckos. Crested gecko people a lot of them are using those like really tall deli displays with the bar.
Yeah.
Like that. They seem to be into that right now. And I'm like, maybe that signals to crested gecko people.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought about getting like an ARS display that's just for geckos on.
Oh, that'd be
Mhm.
so good.
Maybe.
But I don't have enough yet for
we'll
that.
see. Yeah, we don't have. We just
Yeah.
have a few that we take.
So we just kind of share it. I mean, when, you know, they're at home, they're not together either. Like there's 2 separate rooms for them. So we try not to really put them all together or anything, except for the shows, which they have to be quarantined anyway. So
Right. Right. Okay. Richard's here. There's 16 people here, technically. That's pretty good.
it's Ophidarium.
Yeah. Jake's here.
Hey, Jess. Stay firm.
All right. I mean, we promised them plants. So when did you start bringing plants into the mix for your show setup?
So I had some of my own personal plants that I'll like. So we have local plant groups, and you can do purges where you sell what you want to sell. And I was already working for was I working? I work at a plant store. I work at Pure Joy Plants in Huntsville. And so I'm already full on into plants. That was my COVID hobby that I picked up. Ball pythons. So I brought some of my own personal plants to sell, and I sold them all. And I was like, okay, well, that was cool. So then my friend, Sarah, she had some plants that she wanted to sell, and she hates doing the purges. So I was like, well, let me take them to the show. Maybe they'll sell. I sold almost all of them except for like one. I'm like, okay, well, so I work at a plant store. We have the wholesale license. Why don't I just go ahead and buy a whole shipment of plants and bring them? And enough, like people love plants. Like if not just, I actually get a lot of crazy houseplant ladies. And their husband drug them to a reptile show and they hate their lives, but then they see plants and they're like, well, if he's going to buy a snake, then I'm going to buy these plants. So I get the houseplant ladies, and then I get the people that want them for their vivariums or, you know, all those things. So it works out.
Do you feel like you have to, I'm sure it's not that hard, but like, no, like, hey, this is whatever. Don't put that in your terrarium because it's too expensive and it's going to just get smushed or whatever. Or like, do you have to like guide people, or do most people know that they need to be buying?
No, they do not know.
They don't know. Okay.
I'll have them walk up and they'll be like, would this be okay for a ball python? I'm like, I mean, it would be okay. It's safe, but it's probably going to get smushed. You're going to want to go with, you know, something that trails and that the leaves can be crinkled, because all they're going to do is go on it. So then I try to direct them towards whatever plant it is. But I actually have like little sheets that I made, and I did it for crested gecko. I did it for leopard gecko. I did it for bearded dragon and ball python and dart frogs. So it says all the safe plants that you can have in the terrarium, and then it says unsafe plants. So I try to bring mostly all safe for all of them. So succulents are okay for, like, you know, bearded dragons and stuff, but not for certain ones. So I just don't bring succulents, which was funny that you put succulents on the front. Like my least favorite.
They're just like the easiest to prop.
Yeah.
To me, but maybe you think differently. Do you prefer to sell, because you have the wholesale account, like stuff that's like in 2.5 inch kind of ready to go size, or would you rather sell your own props one day because you'd be making more money? Or
I do both. I sell the 2 to 4 inch ones, sell the most, because what they want is for it to grow into the habitat, you know. But I do bring a lot of 6, sometimes 8 inch, even the big monsteras, you know. I bring those because then you get the houseplant people that come in there and they're like, oh my gosh, this is such a great price for a monstera. So I try to, you know, mostly do for terrarium plants, you know, to kind of stick with the theme of the show. But I do sometimes bring some houseplant favorites, you know.
Are you going to go ham at ARP? Like, you could go ham.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have
like.
I've already been like, looking to see like what should I bring, because see, that's why I went to go see what other plant people were going to be there, because I'm like, well, I don't want to bring a bunch of albos if there's an albo person there, which I'm not bringing albos anyways. Hopefully just Jeff from Heartleaf Tropicals, he can bring those. But but like, yeah, I had planned, you know, we only have, how many tables do we have?
2.
We only have 2 tables.
You're gonna have to kick the ball pythons out. Sorry.
I was thinking of like making it like a jungle on each side, but if we can't get Roger next to us, Roger and Lori, then maybe I can like put some plants for decoration on their table.
Well, that definitely worked in Colorado, because I was near someone who was selling like I had a corner and they were the other part of the corner. They were selling like oddities, but they had like plants mixed in attractively. They sold all those plants. They're just gone. I was like, you, I don't know. It's supposed to dead butterflies in like a glass case or whatever. There's some plants out of this dead butterfly section. And I'm like, I sold a lot of corn snakes, so I'm not arguing. It's fine. It's totally fine. But I'm like, that could be a model too, just like a sprinkling of plants.
Yeah.
That one definitely had a ton of like statement plants, like big plants. Like people brought in a truckload of big plants and they sold them. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Daytona show, there's a lot of plant vendors at that one. I think the reason that there aren't a lot of plant people signed up is that is the same exact weekend, same exact days as the international plant show or whatever down in Miami. Like it's like the biggest plant show in the US.
Oh.
Same weekend. So I have a feeling that everybody's going to that and they're not coming to this, which in a way is good for us. But I was looking forward to meeting more plant people, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're still working on the list too.
Yeah. Maybe.
There might be.
Maybe they just haven't posted the plant ones.
Oh, they only have one table. They don't have a corner.
Oh.
Well, they can be in line with us.
Yeah, they could be beside our corner. Because if we get a corner, it'll be like that. One and
right.
one.
Yeah, they do like pods too. So like 2 corners and then like an even number of tables that are single and then like another corner behind it. So they could be like the other side of the pod.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
No,
now you can't steal their Roger's real estate though.
Well, I'll just take the plants over there and be like, I also label everything. I label exactly the care for it, you know, and what the plant name is and the price. So that, like, for instance, I was trying to go to a 3-6 Mafia concert because it's also the same weekend, but I talked myself out of it. It's fine. But also I didn't want to go to him to go to a plant show without me, you know, and there's going to be a lot of really cool people that we are friends with and that I want to meet that are going to be there. So whatever, I'll see 3-6 Mafia another decade from now. But I put the prices and stuff on there so that, like, if they ask him a question, because, like, you know how he absorbs genetics and stuff? I absorb plants. He cannot absorb plants, and I cannot absorb genes for some reason. So
then you're a perfect couple, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My husband doesn't even care about any part of what's going on. Roger says it looks like all ball python people signed up.
Yeah.
Dang it. Well, I mean, it's fine, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
That South Haven show that we just did, the CF Xotics one, that was like the least amount of ball pythons I've seen at a show in a long time. But we still didn't get over our, like, the most we've ever sold at a show. Now, given we only bring like 20, you know, we sold 6. I can't get past 6. I need somebody to come to the next show, which is Daytona, and buy 7. I need to sell 7. I have to beat my own score.
Yeah. You might have to bring more snakes though.
Well, but I mean,
just for like variety.
More than 7 snakes, or if we have 7 snakes, I want them all the same.
Yeah, it would be nice because then you don't have to re-quarantine them or fuss around with whatever mite treatment. No, like my current it's not a good strategy, but it's a strategy, is to bring as many as my quarantine can bear on the way back. So like then you have a higher probability of having something someone wants, because it's very weird in ball python land. Someone doesn't want that often, but someone might want it if they saw it. So it's sort of like a probability thing where you need to present it a lot. I don't know. So like if I do 17 sales, ball python sales, it's because I brought 60 ball pythons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We have a lot of clutches this year. Like,
how many clutches do you have?
I mean, since last year, like we just jumped.
We've met our last years. We have 9 so far, and looking for maybe 5 more.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
It's
good
a lot for us because I mean, what was it last year? It was like 4.
9.
Oh, okay. It seemed way less. I just feel like they're spitting out everywhere.
Yeah,
Do you have like particular breeding goals this year? Were you mostly breeding for holdbacks or?
We're planning on moving pretty soon, so I don't want to have too many new holdbacks. So, but we're going to expand, and so when that happens, we're going to
Big time.
have some more holdbacks. But I did plan on keeping at least 1 or 2 from each clutch, and that's a lot. But I have space in the current racks that we have for them, so that would just fill it right up.
Are you getting a new house, or are you?
We're building a new house. It's going to have
congratulations.
Big snake shop. Well, everything shop.
Yeah, we're going to build a separate
reptile. It's going to be called the Enclosure.
Is it going to be like a steel building, or are you getting a shed?
Yeah, like a pole barn sort of thing.
A massive pole barn.
All right, that's fun. You should attach a greenhouse to it.
Right.
Just saying. Then you can keep more inventory on standby.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I don't know.
We're getting an enclosed back porch, so that might be
okay.
Right now, but not is it going to be? Are you going to enclose? Oh, okay. It's just screened in. So then I got to move all the plants in when winter comes. So I know it seems like I have a lot of plants. I still have a lot of plants. But I went from like having 350 plants in my house to I think I'm under 100 now, which is very much more manageable. I'd like to be under 50, but having that greenhouse, I mean, I work at, a store pretty much. It's part-time, but it's full-time for me because, there's a lot in taking care of hundreds of plants at a store every week.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that and then also doing one at my house, I feel like I would get overwhelmed. And the reptiles, and the rats and the mice and all that, and the child.
Sometimes they're the easiest.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you thought about a plant reptile store of your own?
Not really. I mean, we have like a local reptile store, and then we have a lot of local plant stores. There is a guy, he's probably watching. Aaron, my friend Aaron, he had talked about doing that. And I was like, well, I can be your ball python, gecko supplier, but also plant supplier, but I'm not one to want to own I like working for someone, but being the only one that works for someone,
Yeah.
Well, I kind of have a good setup with Yarden, the owner. She's really cool. So I like it how it is. And I feel like that would just add to it, because who's going to watch the store when we go to a show? Like, we would have to either quit shows or hire someone, and I got trust issues.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I don't know if you've seen her new store, but Morph Menagerie's new plant crested gecko store in North Carolina somewhere.
Does it know where we're going? I'm going to go. Where's that?
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's very tasteful. She had like a mural of, I don't even remember what it was, some kind of lizard on the wall. It's like really cool, but also like, I don't know.
But it's just crested geckos?
I think she's selling other stuff, but she is personally a crested gecko breeder and like New Caledonia breeder. But I think she's stocking whatever productions from her friends.
Oh, okay.
And it's mostly a plant store. So you can build a terrarium, but you can also get like houseplants.
So at the store I work at, Pure Joy Plants, it's just plants and accessories or whatever. But like, I brought in rats one time because there was a girl that was coming to buy one rat or 1 or 2 rats, but I brought 10 for her to choose from. I sold all 10 of those rats that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring in random thing. Like, I haven't brought a ball python yet because I don't want to get kicked out. It's like this like historical building and there's a lot of rules, low mill arts. But I have thought about bringing, reptiles just because like most plant people, they're not really afraid of reptiles for the most part.
No.
Like, I bet I could sell. I would just have to find out the rules, but that would be easy.
Yeah, I mean, to bring your next level display and just set it up like it was a show and just be like, if you want to hold it, it's not like there's like a risk of mites or something. You're the only one there, so who cares at that point? Just go ham and just see what happens.
I brought my bearded dragon once just to hang out, because we had this big glass display case that we had just gotten but hadn't filled yet with plants and stuff. So I brought him, and it was like the perfect setup because I brought the heat, and then he had his the lights in there, and everything. Oh my God, everybody loved him. I should have sent you a picture to post because it's funny. I had him like.
Is it on your Instagram?
It is on the Facebook, but it was a while. It was a year ago.
Yeah. The Denver crowd to me felt very like just nature curious. They weren't reptile people who already had 500 snakes, and so they didn't know what they wanted. Very specific things. They were just like, I just like plants. I want to go to a plant show. Oh, I can have a spider. Oh, and they're like, okay, I'll just also have a spider or a ball python or a cord snake. So they were definitely buying like in the pet price range, but like they were very open to it, and I love them. 10 out of 10.
With it being in Denver, like, was there like a pot?
Were they high?
Yeah. Like, was it?
Yes.
I mean, it's a plant. Were there pot plants for sale? Babe, we gotta go.
Does the Pope wear a funny hat?
I did not see any illicit substances not being smoked. Let me put it that way, or being eaten in a brownie or whatever, or gummies or whatever they're doing these days with the kids. I don't think you can buy plants. You have to like get them.
Oh.
Registered. I don't know. You got to get your rabies shot for your
of our house in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That we had a roommate, and he was like, "Hey, I'm moving to Big Island. Can you watch my plants?" And we were like, "What?" We'll put them on the roof, and they can do their own thing. Sure enough, we had marijuana growing on the roof of our house.
It grew well out there.
It grew well. Hawaii.
Yeah, probably loves it.
Yep. He came back, harvested. I named them. That's all I did.
Okay, good. Yeah, I am hoping the crowd is, maybe they won't be as high, but like as generally curious about nature or whatever in North Carolina, because I think that helps a lot with like getting the pet grade stuff to go. Is like, because a lot of times I feel like we're all selling to the same 5 people at some of these shows, and you're like, that person doesn't want that anymore. They've moved on to something else, but I'm still making that. So then you just either need new people or I don't know, something else. So what do you think? I mean, we talked to Roger about his show experiences. Do you think you do more shows though? Do you think the Alabama shows are par for the course or better or worse than other states shows in terms of like clientele, buyers, door traffic?
We've definitely done better at, local shows. So like Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi. We've done better at those shows than we did in St. Louis. Louisiana, we did better. But like, we did St. Louis. And then we did Daytona last year. We did all right at Daytona, I guess. But I think it's fine. It's just about how you talk to them. Like, I mean, I could sell you this pin. I can tell you all about this pin. It has a stylus. It's rose gold. It clicks. Like, I can sell. I'm a really good salesperson. So you just have to like read the person. I mean, I'm down to the shoes and see what kind of person they are. The best way to do it is look at their teeth. See if they have nice teeth or don't have nice teeth. And then you know what their price range is, because if they can't take care of their teeth, they can't take care of a ball python. No offense. If you have bad teeth, I mean, it might be genetic.
It's not always true, though. There's always exceptions.
Yeah, like in Gadsden, we had $1,000 snake. This girl just walks up. She was really cool. Walks up and was like, I want that one. And we were like, this one right here. This one. And I was like, get the thing out.
That was the blackhead clown I was talking about.
Blackhead clown. Yeah.
And
as a pet. They wanted it as a pet. But they've like.
Was she like a young teen and she had parents?
Probably our age, and I think she had a lot of tattoos. She's skinny. It was a whole family. But I mean, it was a Gadsden, you know,
kind of in the middle of Alabama.
Like
wild.
Yeah, $1,000 snake out the door. I was like, get that thing. Get her money. I'm like, does she know this has 1,000 and not 100? But
were you? I don't know. I know this is like bad juju, so knock on wood. Have you had a chargeback from a show yet?
No. What is that?
Okay.
Return?
Yeah. No, it's where they pretend the credit card was stolen and they didn't charge it.
No.
Yeah, I've heard about that on some other shows, but
that's why I knocked on wood. I've had chargebacks online, but I've never had one at a show yet.
That just happened to Roger, though. I think.
From the show?
No, an online morph market sale.
Oh yeah, he told me about. I don't know if he wants.
Well, but it wasn't like a chargeback. They like legit thought that they sent a photo of the snake that just got there, but on an old piece of paper that had blood all over it, and he was freaking out and asking us like, "What could this be?" And we were all like, "What? That's a lot of blood." Turns out she that was an old piece of paper. The snake was completely fine. She was trying to get her money back, but she's banned now.
Yeah.
More
yeah. Some people are scary. So then I don't know if there's a higher probability of a chargeback at shows. It's easier from the chargeback if you use the stripe instead of the chip for like card not present purposes. Like it's easier, but like anybody can call their credit card and be like, I didn't authorize this payment. And they're like, you didn't? And you're like, no. And then it just charges back.
Yeah,
even if the card was present.
Bank too, though. So I feel like in that case we would be, it would fix, right? Oh, that makes me scared. For the most part, we actually get a lot of cash too. This last show, we usually get a lot of cash. People usually come prepared for the most part.
Yeah, I love cash. Cash is king.
Mm-hmm.
My father used to be a used car salesman. I don't know if that tells you a lot about me as a person, right? But he had a really big sign that said "Cash is King," and it's because he kept 2 books. But don't tell the feds I told you that, right? Okay.
This is YouTube. It's forever,
right? And he's also, passed away. So it doesn't matter anyway at this point. I'm like, I need a Cash is King sign. Really big, huge, like obvious used car salesman tactics, but like just to make it really clear, like there's square fees and all this stuff going on. And if you give me cash, I don't have to worry about chargebacks. Because I started taking copies of people's IDs on Morph Market if it was more than a certain dollar amount, because that's how weird it was for a while. And then I stopped, and I'm like, well, if I got a $1,500 show sale, should I just like take a picture of their ID? Is that weird? What do you think?
I mean, does that help? I mean, does that really help?
I don't. Yeah, what would you do with the ID once?
Show the cops.
They still get their money back.
They still get their money back. You would just know who they are officially. Like if they stole the credit card, you could like whatever cross-reference there, and you would just be able to like ban them and publicly shame them. What do you think of that? I love public shaming. It's apparently a thing.
I like public shaming.
Especially for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically theft.
Yeah, Roger, you should public shame that one girl. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, that situation was crazy. I'm glad she's banned.
Now that I think about it, that happened with a plant thing. I ordered plants one time from, it was like Indonesia or something. And one of the plants got stopped at customs. Well, and it was like, it got stopped in Alaska. So the thing is dead. So then it sends it back to them. And then when I asked them for my money back, because I mean, it was like $400. It was more than one plant, but it's $400. They're like, you should be able to go through your, I think it was like PayPal or something and get the money back. And I was like, no, you need to refund me the money. It never happened.
So they wanted you to charge them back themselves?
Yes.
That is weird.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to you're going to just give me the $400 back or send me the plants again. And it just like disappeared. And they're like, did you get everything handled? I'm like, no, you never sent my money back. Please. Meanwhile, they were from Indonesia. So this was all like translated and I couldn't even understand half of what they were saying. So
do you still buy weird, interesting plants from Southeast Asia?
No.
Or are you scared now a little bit?
I'm done with that. I go to Florida for the good stuff. Like I'll drive all the way down there and go get plants.
Do you buy it for your shop you work at, and then you just like you get a little cream on the side off the top?
I want to go down there before the plant show because I feel like I can get some good stuff for it since they're all going to be down there. They're going to be making
weird stuff, plants. Like unique stuff.
Yeah. But the thing with that is if it doesn't sell, I'm going to have to bring it all back, which I could bring it back to the store, and sell it there. But I don't know. I'm going to have to go to Florida again before. We're going to the Daytona show.
We're going to be in Daytona. So.
And I tried to get him to like do an extra day so we could, because we'll have our camper. We do our camper because we're cheap. And I want to go. It's just like 3 hours more. I need to go farther south than Daytona, but I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So I'm trying to figure out shipping and stuff right now.
What is the normal margin? I don't know if you want to reveal these secrets. Like when you buy it from the supplier, what percent do you expect to retail it at the store versus a show? Like, is it different? Do you think it's the same?
So I do it the same. Like legit, I print out the same ticket that I would for the store that I would for the show. Sometimes I do, like, there's a few shows where there are more plant vendors. And so I have to make my prices competitive, which isn't that hard. Right. But for the most part, it's like I buy plants that I know I can still sell at a good value. I don't like to price gouge or anything. So yeah, I mean, it's for the most part, most of my plants are $5. Okay. That I bring to shows.
Yeah, the hard part with plants is like both the shipping in. So like if you have it to a show and it can come in a big truck all at once, or do you have them all come in like UPS ground or whatever?
No, we walk them in. We make trips and walk them in because the shipment.
Yeah, shipping them from the supplier to your.
They're only like 2 hours away, so they deliver straight to the store.
Oh, even better.
Even better. For the most part, we don't do like the big stuff. I like to go down there and hand pick it myself. Like I like picking my own plants, so I'll go down there and get a U-Haul full of plants when I go down there. So we're spending like $3,000 when we go down there.
Okay, that's good. That means like the margins are better than if. Because a lot of pet stores will like ship in whatever a 30 lot of 2-inch pots from whoever.
Yeah.
And they have to ship it in. And so like the per unit cost goes up a lot.
Yeah. Really, the shipping is only good if you're going to get tiny plants, which I do have tiny plants coming in today that I'm going to grow up in the next, 2 months, month or two until the show. And then they'll be hopefully a nicer size. But those I did ship, but it was like $100 shipping and the plants are like tiny. So I don't know. It's a hit or miss.
Yeah, I've been keeping track of all the money that she spends on plants and makes, and it is profitable, so it's worth it.
You want to talk about that Justin Kobelka snake you just bought?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
All right.
He walks into the dang kitchen and I'm like, what are all these where are there? Do you know how
It's
many
box.
stickers and pieces of paper come in that thing? It's insane. They're really cool too. But anyways, I'm like, what did you buy? What did you buy right now?
I've got plans.
And
We're
he's
gonna
like
make
holding the snake over the
Xanthic
sink because it just
Desert
peed
Ghost
or
Clown.
something. I'm like, oh my God. It's a desert ghost clown, something or another. I don't know.
Well, it's Desert Ghost head Xanthic head clown. So
Which it's a beautiful snake.
yeah, and I have the black pastel Xanthic head Desert Ghost, and then we have it's pastel pinstripe Mojave Xanthic head clown. So we're gonna put that male with both those females.
It's
And
gonna be a big orgy. We just make fun.
yeah,
Are you in VPI?
yes,
Yeah.
VPI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any like
That's
thoughts
what's
about Xanthic? Whatever happens, Xanthic gate.
What?
Yeah, all the genetic testing.
Yeah. Do you have, are you like, we're
No, we
doing
let
it.
Roger do it, and then we just go from that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just stick with VPI. I don't know what we'll see what happens with all the other ones that are all the same.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so mad still. Yeah, that sounds like a fun male. So are you in the phase of your collection where you're just buying in a couple of like key males a year, or do you feel like you need a female reset coming up soon because they're a little bit whatever, or are you just trying to like, work your projects, keep your nose to the grindstone, buy a male or two?
I bought one other male this year, and those are the only purchases that I planned on making for the whole year. So
I'm trying to build a house.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, we're trying not to expand too much right now. But I have been thinking about putting together a plan to upgrade the females at some point. So we did sell our very first female that we bought a few shows ago, and so it's starting, but it's going to be.
For the most part, I'm
upgraded
pretty
soon.
sure you're keeping a lot of the hatchlings that you've been keeping. Were they males or females? These ones, the little ones.
A mixture of both.
Yeah,
So,
to grow out, But no, we haven't bought any big females lately.
Yeah, it's always interesting time. I don't know, the 3 to 5 year time, maybe even 7 year time, because you sort of like if you haven't done your first purge of females, you're doing it, or you even on your second purge of females, and then you're like, okay, what am I actually doing here? Because you're holding back at like an incremental amount. Like I've probably held back 20 or 30 female ball pythons every year since I've been breeding. Now I'm like,
Every year.
and now I'm like, this is too many actually.
I feel like that's gonna happen when they come out, they're just so cool. So if there's like 2 of the same one that has all the genes, and he's like, oh, I'm holding that one back, and I'm like, dang, that one was nice. I was gonna sell it.
Well, the problem is you don't want to like handicap yourself by selling your best production.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless it's gonna make us like thousands of dollars, I'm okay with letting it go.
Well, and then like do you hear my child screaming in the background?
I did.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yay, it wasn't us.
I don't know what's happening, but it's probably
They'll figure it out.
Probably great. So the margins on plants are good, and the margins on like a really expensive ball python are good, but usually ball pythons cost more to keep going. Jason, do you think like which business model do you think is more profitable at like this stage of your business? Which arm of it? Or are they too synergistic and you can't tell them apart because of like show sales?
So if we're talking like gross money, or even the net, it's
Rats.
It's ball pythons by a little bit. Rats are second, then plants. Plants, it's profitable, like I said, but it's not like it's going to pay the bills.
Yeah, like I said, they're like 5. I think the most is like $25. So I can bring 200 plants, sell them all, but at that price range, which I do like a 30 to, well, if any of these plant people are, I do like a 30 to 50% increase from cost or whatever, which isn't bad considering most places around here, but you're not making very much. But if I expanded the plants to more variety, then I mean, I think it could. It just depends, you know, like lately I think our snakes have been selling anywhere from the 150 to 450 range. That occasional $1,000 one. But I mean, every show we're not going to sell. I think the most expensive snake we have in our display when we go now is $1,400. Of course, it's everybody's favorite too, but even Summer likes that one. So,
I mean, have you ever thought of increasing the margins on the plants? Like you could sell them for $5, but you could also sell them for $7. Like
test that theory, and it did work. I've thought about it, which I think I will start doing, but it's only going to be like another couple dollars, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't like bringing anything home. I don't want to load the camper back up or anything. So that's why I kind of make them. I mean, as long as I'm making like 50% on them and making something, that's kind of how I look at it, is I don't want to take anything home.
Do you give away plants to other vendors at the end, like the cricket people do? Because you're like, I need these things to go.
No, I think I have once. I gave one plant away, but for the most part, I actually have the vendors come over and they pre-purchase things.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
If they know I'm
VIPs.
coming, they're like, I want this one, this one, this one. I have some really good, the ladies, vendors. They're good to me, and they come over. They don't haggle, nothing. They pay. It's good to go. So
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
good.
had to yet. And I mean, like I said, I just take them back to the plant store. So I mean, why lose money? That might sound stingy, but money talks. So
Roger says that why not more expensive plants? But that's a little bit higher risk. Like if you
you have to have that one person. Like Jeff, he has really higher end plants, like you're not gonna know any of the names of them, but like jungle mint monsteras and all this, like, you know, rare stuff. And like, for instance, one will be like $200 and they'll be like, oh, whoa, oh my God, that's outrageous. And then they'll come over to my table. If Jeff's watching this, no, it's fine. But like, they'll come over to my table and be like, oh, your prices are way better than his. I'm like, well, he has different stuff, you know,
right. It's for a specialist.
So I have to explain to them, like, these are like, you know, good plants for terrariums, and, you know, you're not risking losing a lot of money. And these are for like terrarium people. These aren't really for like house plants, which they do make great house plants. But
have you ever been on the plant version of Whatnot?
I don't even know what Whatnot is. I'm not online unless it's Facebook. So
okay, it's like it's like
what?
selling for like people's junk in their garage or whatever, but there's a plant arm to it. So you know, like we did the auctions, it's like that, but over there you can't do animals, but they have a plant part, so people will Whatnot plants for 6 hours.
Oh yeah, there's like Jack's Jungles, I think, in Florida. They call them lives, going live or something.
Yeah,
I've
you do it on Facebook instead.
They do Instagram.
Okay,
Instagram,
yeah.
But I mean, they'll sit there and just like bring up, all right, 8:57, we've got this. We'll start out, and I'm like, and it's hours, and I'm like,
hours.
Oh dear.
But they make a lot of money because then, like, I don't know, it's a deal, but they know what their margins are or whatever, so they can start the auction on whatever.
Yeah.
And they just are good at shipping plants. They're just like, bye.
I'm just not good with those auction things. The only thing I like to do for auctions is go and be like, stop or whatever. Like, I love doing it. I love being the first one. It's like a game to me. And I'm the first one that says, all right, time's up. Because like my live is way better or something. I don't know. I think I did it for yours. And you're like, thank you, Whitney, for being on top of it.
You're a real team player.
I don't know. My attention's pretty small. I have ADHD. So.
Yeah. I just feel like since plants are more universal, they're a little bit easier to live auction in general or live display, because like almost anybody could maybe want a plant. So yeah, you should try it. You should think about it. Maybe. or even live auctioning it at the show too, because it like doesn't matter. Everyone's like, I'll buy a plant,
I think
like very low,
Or spin the wheel, or
right?
mystery bags. Those are working.
Yeah.
Mystery bags are all the thing down here. No, we have not jumped that bandwagon, but everybody's doing mystery bags now. I could do a
For
mystery plant
corn
bag.
snakes or plants or ball pythons or
Reptiles, not plants.
Yeah.
Do that
Down
now.
here, they got
only
all
want
they got all the ball pythons, crested geckos, in
geckos
the,
and-
in a bag.
spiders in a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried it the last Christmas show and I didn't sell any. I sold more out of the bag than in the bag. And I'm like, I tried it. But maybe if it was like,
I don't like the mystery of it. I want to know what I'm getting, especially if you have a plan. So I don't think it's a good thing for like breeders and stuff. But like most of our crowd is for pets, you know. So it sells down here. Those mystery bags sell, and they end up with something they got to take care of.
It
And
is
then you
weird.
find it.
The first time we saw it, they were just like flying off the shelves. Like this guy sold like 100 of them, and then the next time he did the same thing, and it was a lot slower. So it was that was great. So I guess it depends on the time of year and who comes and stuff like that. But
yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine if you're like really clear. Like this is a baby ball python male. It retails for 100. The mystery bag's 50. So like you're getting a deal. Thank you for buying it. But and maybe it doesn't have any spider complex genes in it. So like give them all the information possible. They know it's a pet. Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I also
that
understand why they're selling like there's like 3 geckos in one deli cup kind of thing. Like, why are people buying 3 geckos to get
like
like
Haas Exanthic packs or something?
No, there were some crested geckos, but like people will buy that many just because it's so cheap. Like you're getting a deal, but then I'm like, do you have 3 different enclosures? Like, do you? That's
they don't.
a good deal. I don't know.
Carissa, I keep 20 to 30 ball pythons a year on top of everything else I keep every year. It's called being a hoarder.
So how many do you have?
You're pressuring me.
Yeah, don't ask me how many plants I have.
Ball python wise, probably 120 like
ain't too bad
things that I'm keeping. Yeah, I try to rotate them out. Like I just do.
Well, but you have to wait until they're breed ready. If you're gonna hold on to them, you guys see it through.
Yeah, I breed them, but then like by then you're like the market's moved on. I'll keep their one best daughter or maybe a son in a best case scenario, and then I move them. You know, that's just how ball pythons are to me. Other people are different opinions, but things that I bought that were really awesome in 2022 are no longer awesome at all. So like I will breed them once, try to like recoup the genetics into my projects, but they are no longer awesome. So there's no real reason to hold on to them indefinitely.
I never understand why things that are awesome aren't awesome like if it still looks really cool, why isn't it still selling? Is it just like their vision changes or something? Like I don't like
Jason, what do you think the answer to that question is?
I don't understand. It does it in the plant industry too.
Well, I mean, that's just how markets work.
But
it was
like I still think my all white snake with baby blue eyes is so cute, you know. Like, and I'm gonna think that until he dies.
It's a $10,000 snake.
Yeah, they are still aesthetically attractive, but like if every position in your rack has some sort of breeding value and or hypothetically a monetary value because its babies are worth X amount, if that rack position has fallen so far that no male you can put her to would raise the value of the clutch over $300 total,
yeah,
she has to go be someone else's like starter breeder.
Not him. It was our first snake. We're not getting rid of him. Also,
right.
All white snakes always sell out first. Always. Can't keep them things on the rack. And pies.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Pies.
Yeah, have you ever had problems though with like the people who want to buy them being weird about, like, I've had more questions of, like ball pythons get pink bellies when they're in shed. Well, the whole bell turns pink, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, it has scale rot. I'm like, no, you bought a white snake. Calm down. And they're like, I'm gonna report you. I'm like, it's a white snake. It turns pink in shed.
Or the ones that buy an all-white snake when it's a hatchling that is going to eventually have some form of color, like Darien, has gray or super Mojave. I don't know. But like, they're like, why isn't it white anymore? Is this a stain? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's the part that stresses me out about selling white snakes. Like, it's cool that people like them, but they struggle the most. Or like, they'll get like worry lines where they're folded up a little bit. It's more obvious on a lighter colored snake.
It is.
And so they're like, is this a burn? I'm like, no, bro. He just likes to tilt to the left a little bit when he's like curled up in his hide. You're fine. They don't ever complain about it when it's a darker snake because it's like less obvious.
We've had a lot of questions like that, but never any kind of complaints or people like
makes me never want to sell a light snake again. I'll sell the blackest snakes possible. Lord.
But then when they're in shed, is there something wrong with it? Why is it purple?
Yeah.
Always something. You can't.
I know. Yes.
Black and white ones, like gray and then pink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a hidden stash of snakes. What are you talking about? Yes, I do. Don't tell anybody.
Well,
I just like, to me, the snakes that I produce are like, they cost me whatever my cost of production is. And I don't have to test them for diseases and I know how they're going to eat, and they're probably going to breed sooner than anything I buy in. So if I have like a constant sort of conveyor belt of females growing up, it's easier to bring in a male and pivot what's happening. Yeah. It's just you have to conveyor belt adult females out the back side too.
Two, right?
We have
two. Frigg and Belle from Beauty and the Boss. We sold Belle. It's fine.
We're gonna get a new one, a new Belle.
A new Belle.
Yeah, like a hypo het GG Belle.
We don't do hypo.
You don't do hypo?
You don't do hypo.
No, our first was a pastel GHI butter. And so
she was pregnant already, though. So I mean,
it was like buying
next
for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean there's obviously like margin for people to buy almost any female and do something with it, but like doesn't need to stay with you. It's fine. They can go live somewhere else, and they'll be somebody else's happy breeder. Yeah,
I'm not getting attached to any of them because I know that that's going to happen. So I try to just, he'll like show me. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool.
Except for the one that I posted today. She's like, named it and promised our son that he can keep it.
Our son named it, and he wants it in his room when we move. Of course, then he's like, oh, I want Bear, which is our bearded dragon, in his room. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, now if you could get a pretty penny for it, then yeah, let it go. He'll get over it. But it's cute. Did you see it?
No, let's look at it.
It's an 8-ball, right?
Yeah,
but it's got like
with the little like duck, like the ducky.
Yeah, the white snout.
We named it Zorro. It's really cute, but it's kind of feisty, which is why I don't want it anymore.
Just gotta play with it a little bit.
Yeah. It's like the nice one. Yeah. No, it that's the first time Noah's ever been bit. Our 5-year-old, it bit him. I mean, he was like, oh, it's fine, whatever. I still have never been bit, but I don't want to be bit.
It's happening. I have like a tooth in my hand. I'm still trying to get it out. I'm like fiddling with it. You're gonna get bit.
When he first got bit, he didn't even know. He just saw like little dots of blood.
Yeah, well, sometimes they break off the teeth. That's when it's like you're like,
oh my god,
I gotta like fuss around with it, and try to tweeze it out.
Just kidding. I still have not been bit by. I don't think I've been bit by anything. It was my fault. I had a dubia roach that I was trying to hand feed. Oh, there's
A
the
bearded dragon too, or
yeah, that bearded
Yeah.
dragon. I was trying to hand feed him because I thought it'd be cool. Because usually he does his tongue, first. Well, the dubia roach started crawling up my arm, and he came over there, and he accidentally just barely got me a little bit, and I was like, okay, I don't like it.
yeah, a bearded dragon can mess you up. There's a lot of little teeth in there if they really want to.
Yeah, they crunch on those little pellet food, so
Oh yeah,
they can eat your.
yeah, because he won't eat greens. He has to have that stupid pellet food.
Well, it looks like he's for sale, so he must not be that much of a pet.
Yeah. Well, after he, struck at Noah, and then he's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I know he's a baby and they're feisty, but I don't know. Just rubbed me wrong, so he can go. But for
Now-
wasn't it like
Yeah.
$2,000 or something?
Noah hasn't come up with me to feed him in
Yeah,
4 weeks.
because
so-
Noah fed him
so-
for a little bit.
Are you bringing like specific animals to Daytona versus ARPE on the ball python side? Like, do you think ARPE is going to be more pet and you should go a little high end on Daytona, or are you just bringing what you make if you don't make that much?
It's for sale. We bring
pretty
it
much
all.
bringing everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had to leave my normal pet lavender albino at home, I would do that. But if I have space, I might as well bring it because there might be somebody there that wants a het lavender
Mhm.
albino. So,
You never know. There might be like there's going to be a lot of good snake vendors or ball python vendors at that show. So they might want it. You could work out a deal with them or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
just add it in with something else.
Yeah. No, not the cheap stuff, just like the expensive stuff. That's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I would bring the expensive stuff because there's going to be some really good ball python breeders. And I mean, if we've got really good stuff, maybe they'll want it.
That's the dream.
Our morph market does not, I don't know. It must be invisible or something.
It is funny.
It doesn't-
We make one sale per year
On
on
Morph
Morph Market. So
It's
far.
like
you-
invisible.
Would you consider turning it down to like, like the free, you get one posting anyway, like just putting your one best one on and turning it back on, like if you start to have more like 20 clutches a year?
That's true, but I'd rather keep them all out there because you never know, somebody might find. Or what if they're like, if I have just the one up there, what if it's not the one that the one person's looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, then you can just like direct them to your like website or Instagram or something.
That's true, but
Okay.
yeah, I just keep them all. At first, I was only putting the like $500 and up on there.
Mhm.
I just gave in and just put them all on there because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how many hits do you get in like the sub 200 ball python range these days?
Sub 200.
Well, I guess you only ship once a year. Do you have
Yeah.
local pickup?
Most of the ones that we sold, or the 3 that we sold, well, 4 because one person bought 2 that we sold on Morph Market were a little bit higher price. The most recent one was $500, so I mean it was
Mhm.
decent.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone back and forth on it. Like when I lived somewhere where there was a lot of people physically within driving distance of me, I was like, post everything because they can just come pick it up. Like there are millions of people nearby. Now I live somewhere where there's nobody really nearby. And so I don't know the dollar amount, but right now I'm only posting 500 and up ball pythons, but I'll post cheap corn snakes because people will pay more than the cost of the snake to ship it, but it doesn't feel like they want to do that always with ball pythons. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't know the right way to do this, but I've also been like, do I need a morph market? Because I feel like I do 80% of my sales at shows now. Easy.
Same.
Yeah, ours is like 95.
96.
Yeah. Or like people on Instagram or whatever, like buds. I'll do that too, but I don't count that as like morph market.
Have you sold any from Instagram yet? No.
No, not on
Facebook.
Facebook.
though,
A
we
few,
do.
but
Yeah.
Well, let's try to work on it today. How much is this one?
Isn't it 2,000? Didn't you say 2,000? He randomly tells me stuff though. Who knows? $4,000.
That was-
Best offer.
it was 2000 when it was it was pet, but
Oh. So
I don't know. That's a male, so it'd be closer to something like 500 or something.
what? Look at that face. No, it's at least 8. I'm just kidding. But really, realistically, though,
That one's a banana 8-ball female, which is closer to 1,000 from what I've seen on Morph Market, and I think one recently sold for that much. So that's how much.
here's an 8-ball.
Do you think like Morph Market comps make sense versus your show prices?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
because I do all my pricing based on Morph Market, and then most of the prices that I use at the shows are very similar, if not the exact same.
Yeah.
So.
And you feel like it's worked?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
But,
Okay.
But at the shows, it's a lot easier for somebody to come up and say, "Will you take this much?" and
Right.
say yes.
Yeah.
Or-
I guess for some animals, people match Morph Market like mean, not the lowest, but like, you know, the middle-ish. But some stuff I'm like, the show prices 20% of the lowest price on Morph Market. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't know what the price of this animal is.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty low prices at shows, and it's like, why? But
I guess because they don't want to take it home. But
Yeah, well, in some places, like there was a while last year where I couldn't sell a male normal for what I thought was the normal rate, which is $40.
how much?
$40.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I guess the pricing has moved on, and I just started doing them at 20, and I could sell them again. But like there was a long time where I couldn't sell them, and these are like double hets, triple hets, whatever.
What? That's cheap.
Het clown. Yeah, well, nobody wants them for 40, so I was like, 20 it is.
We just sold. How much is that?
I don't think we've ever sold a normal for less than 50, which is
But
Alright,
the
good.
last one we sold
Pretty
at the
interesting.
South Haven show was it double het or just it was
it
het
had
something.
something.
Can't even remember now, and it was like 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember.
But
Yeah,
it was
I think
75 or 150 or something, maybe even 200. Still did it.
Not a normal. It wasn't.
I don't tell them what the hets are, because if I had to wait around for them to pay 100 to 150 for the right triple het buyer,
Yeah.
Do you tell them after the sale?
no, happy pets only here, bud. So sometimes I'll start a show with the hets listed and the het price. It's the same thing as people do with leopard geckos, where they're like, it's actually pet only. Scratch all that out, reprice it, same snake, sell it.
Back to Daytona. What is she? Are you going to Daytona?
No, I'm too basic. No, I have a bunch of shows coming up, like a megaton. And so like I'm gonna focus on making money.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think pretty much. Did we break even last year, or just barely over? It was more of like the experience and getting out there.
It was an almost break even, and then spent it all on plants.
Well, and geckos. I won't do that this year. I promise.
How many hour drive is it for you?
It's like 12.
It's 10 and a half nonstop, but
But we have a
obviously-
kid, 5-year-old, and all that. It
Yeah.
was like 12.
All right, that's like
and a torrential downpour / tornado.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
There-
that's doable. For
Mhm.
me, it's 17 hours. So I'd
Oh.
have to be like really motivated to vend.
They're cool to stop halfway.
Yeah, I'd have to do something like that. And I think about Pomona too, because I'm like in the middle of the country. That's also 17 hours. I'm like, am I crazy enough
You should
to
move.
do,
I'm just
to,
kidding.
to do either of these shows? I might be. But like, I really need, for me, like, I've been listening to like craft fair ladies a lot on YouTube, and they're always like, listen, craft fair ladies know what's up. So they're always like, I need a 5 times multiplier for a craft show to be worth it for me. Expenses. So like expenses 5 times. I'm like, girl, I'm listening. Let me know how that works out. Because like a lot of these shows, you kind of break even. You're like, oh yeah, it's advertisement. I'm like, I'm tired of advertisement. That's what I'm saying. I'm interested in 5 times multipliers like the craft show ladies. So
We did really good at the last one, and then our tire blew out. We came home to no air conditioner working, had to replace
oh
it.
no.
And what else happened? Like an oil leak in the car. I don't know, but I was like, seriously, now we're 10K in the hole. We just made this much money, and now it's gone, like 10 times full.
Right.
Life.
That would have happened anyway, so I don't count that.
Right. It's not the fault of the show, I guess. Yeah, I just want more shows where like it's really obvious that there's like a financial and whatever promotional benefit to being there. It just hasn't been super clear in 2023, but it's getting better this year. Do you agree with that? Do you think your 2023 stuff was sort of lame, or do you think it was equally as good as this year? Or better?
Finished selling off the 2023 stuff. Just
2022.
Just kidding. 2022. I don't even know what year it is.
I mean, like your 2023 show sales in general, do you think it was equal to this year so far?
Well, so far we've equaled what we did last year. So it's only
July.
halfway through the year. So I mean, this year is doing better than last year.
I feel like we've done less shows too this year, right?
No, we're about the same. Maybe one more scheduled for. Well, we didn't have the AARPE last year, so that's an added.
Stop saying AARP.
It is a hard acronym. I wish we didn't have to say all of the words. I was just gonna call it like Planet Reptile Show, and we all just like no. What about that? Or All American? What about that?
The PNR show.
Yeah, that's better than AARPE.
That's way worse. The PM what?
The PNR.
Hey, this is G rated. Okay.
It can be PG a little bit.
At least no one's here this time.
Do you think like the dollar cost of your show ball pythons is higher? So you're like your per animal sale has gone up? Because a lot of the prices went down. So like I'm selling more snakes this year, but for less money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
I think we've had more. Yeah, we've had more snakes at lower cost, but that's probably just because we have more parents that could possibly end up with normals and stuff. So
yeah,
we made a lot of hets last year, so it was an interesting year.
I'm not on the het train.
Also, Carissa, they aren't all worth $500, but I told you to buy males that were at least $500, not hold back females unless they were $500. This is like a marital debate. Like, I'm always like, it's okay that you want to buy that, like to bring in like a side quest project, but I'm like, I think at this point, increase power, not necessarily like increase quantity of new males, right? What do you think of that, Jason?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, obviously, about the most powerful male that I've ever got just now. So I mean, that's
our first snake. We get thumbs up.
Yeah. So yeah,
from him.
Yeah, it was our first Canova snake. So that is where I am buying the powerful males and putting them with the females that I got last year before when they're ready. So
do you have any like other species side quests snake wise, or are you just doing like leopard geckos, crested geckos?
No, and gargoyles.
Yeah, just geckos and ball pythons.
All right. I mean, that's a good mix. A lot of shows now, I don't know, I think you mentioned it earlier. The last show I went to, tarantula vendors outnumbered ball python vendors. And I was like, what is going on? So there's definitely like, I don't know. I rag on ball pythons sometimes because sometimes there's too many and it feels like it's like, I don't know, spitting in the wind. You're like, I don't know who wants this. But like, if enough people stop doing it and it's all tarantula vendors or crested gecko vendors or something, then ball pythons are still pretty happy pets. So then you do better again. Then the cycle repeats, I guess, forever. But
That's
if you have
go
good.
ahead. That's like with plants. I mean, a plant that I bought when it was like $200, you get a pink princess philodendron and it was $200. And then not even a year later, that thing is $20 at Walmart. Like it'll kill, but it's the same thing. It's like, the blue-eyed Lucy is, however much money. And then 2 years later, it's like you barely get like 200, whatever. So,
yeah.
But then I'm sure in a few years when so there's a mainstream, like Costa Farms, the ones at all of the big box stores, once they quit putting them out, then it comes back around again,
Right, on the hobby side. Yeah, I've seen bills as low as like $80-$90 in my area.
Yeah.
So like,
which we paid $450 for ours in 2021. Yeah.
Right, and you could probably still like command $450 now for like certain kinds of bells at the right place, right time, right audience. But it's that's what I'm saying. Like, it's always so regional, and people are like, "Well, I went with Morph Market prices to this show and sold nothing." And I'm like, "Yeah, because those people don't check Morph Market. They're checking your competition. They're looking at whatever the quality, and they don't care." So that's why like pricing is very strange and weird. And I don't know anything about
market though. Is you'll get these ones from Canada or something, and they've got a banana on there for $50. Well, we have a banana, but ours isn't. Ours is $175, but ours also has other genes in it. But they're like, well, but that's a banana for $50. Why would I pay $175 when I can pay $50 right here? And I'm like, you know what? You do what you want, but it's coming from Canada. That's a long trip for a snake. If it's $50, I'm not convinced there's something not wrong with it. Like there's got to be something wrong. Like, why would you sell it for $50 and go through all that shipping process and stuff over the line? So like, I don't know. The Morph Market thing just makes me mad. That's why I'm never on it. But because it's like, I will get, and it's happened more than once. But I will get like, well, here's my wish list. Do you have anything like that? And I'll be like, yeah. And I send them what we have. And they're like, well, the one on here is only $50. I'm like, well, it looks exactly like the one we have, but ours has more genes. So if you're looking for a pet and you've read their reviews and stuff, I'm not going to like take away a sale from somebody. I'm not going to come down to $50 though, just to make a sale from $175.
Yeah. Is that like a regular message or the weird like waiting list request feature? Or they were asking for that?
Morph Market, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But no, this is like, believe it or not, it's like some friends or like local people. It's local people that find out that I sell ball pythons.
Oh, yeah.
And then they try to get a deal. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not the ball python person. So I was like, look, I can cut you a deal on a gecko, but I'm not in charge of that. So I don't know. It's mainly people we know,
Yeah, I'm kind of under the influence of the prices will come back up, and I have space, I can hold on to them.
Yeah, so if we have the space,
as long as I have the space, I'm gonna.
Because we definitely have the food.
Kind of hold my price. Yeah. If it's a reasonable request, then sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from 175 to 50 is like, that's like a punch in the throat. Like,
I have a hard time though selling older males once they get past, I don't know, 18 months or something, because they're definitely not cute anymore. So like, I'm extremely interested in selling males that are supposed to be pet only price points anyway, before they get ugly, is what I'm saying. You're still willing to hold like a banana black pastel? It was awesome when it was 100 grams, 200 grams, 300 grams. Starting to get ugly around 4, 5, 6. It's okay. You're like, hurry, get it.
Is that like the ultra males? Will they eventually fade out, or will they always stay that bright peanut butter Nutella color? I also sell snakes based on their color and food. So like an ultra male is like peanut butter Nutella. So if you like that, you should get this snake.
Are you? I don't know if there's team Ultramel instead of Team Monarch, I'm assuming.
I don't know what that means.
We breed Ultramel, but I wouldn't
We had
call
like
us Team Ultramel, but
Right.
some Ultramels are pretty cool.
Yeah, did you see that Hayabusa Monarch that Palumbo posted?
Haven't seen it.
Hypo Monarch? I haven't know.
No, Hayabusa, like super hurricane.
Hayabusa. I'm not sure.
It was fire. I was saying, I was like, I'm gonna Ultramel that.
Sounds like it would be.
Cause, oh god, I'm team whatever's in my racks. Frankly, I'm not that worried about it. Really, I think Monarch's cool and Ultramel's cool, and it's all fine. But I'm just like it because it was like super crenellated and all these little, but in like the same color palette. I thought it was super fun.
Yeah.
My dog is barking at me. Also, I don't know if you hear her like
Can't hear it.
groaning. Okay, thank God.
Well, yeah, I think so. People like Monarch because it's darker than Ultramel, right? But you could just put the darkening genes in Ultramel and make them darker. So
Right.
I don't get that argument, but
Yeah.
but since I'm already down the path of Ultramel, I'm not gonna go to Monarch at the same time. I don't think. Not right now.
Have you ever wondered what? Because you know, like you can make a caramello and stuff. What the Ultra Monarch looks like? What if it's like a caramello and it's actually kind of cool?
Should make it. Is that your next
Yeah, what is
project?
it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't.
Oh, doggy tail.
I don't know if it would be darker or not. Because like like caramel and Ultramel look pretty much the same. Caramel maybe is a little lighter, but the caramel is like way lighter. It gets red eyes.
Mhm.
You're like, but caramel's dumb, right? Ew. We don't want kink snakes or subfertility. But what if the Monarch Ultramel does a similar thing, and both of those are cool, and then Team Monarch and Team Ultramel can kiss? Would it be like sacrilege or something? I don't know.
I wouldn't mind it.
All right, yeah.
That'd be interesting to find out.
What about the anti-team putting Desert Ghost into Ultramel? Like, there's like a strong, weird. Because I know it doesn't really do anything, but then they're like, "Fuck you for doing it." Oh, sorry, Grandma. And I'm like, well, it doesn't help. It doesn't like hurt that much either. Just like Ultramel doesn't. Ultramel and Hypo, sometimes they kind of don't look that different, but they look better when there's a dark gene in there. Are you on team no Hypo in Ultramel or Desert Ghost in Ultramel?
I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to do it on purpose. There was I did have some plans to mix all those genes together, mix Ultramel, Desert Ghost, and Xanthic and Clown all together and into quad hets, and then just I get what I get. But once I saw the Desert Ghost Ultramel, like it's like people say, Desert Ghost doesn't enhance the Ultramel enough to really make it worth making that whole project. But
do you like the Ultra Snow? Or do you think it's too boring? Like obviously it's like very specific.
Yes, actually,
taste.
I have a 1.2 for that of those double hats, so I'm working on that project a little bit.
Yeah, I like it because it's a weird color palette. It's like peachy and bell-like, but with the pattern still.
Yeah, that's
Laurie's here.
That's that pair that I always talk about.
Oh,
so
we have a pair for sale that can make this really cool.
Are you selling them? You're not breeding them?
Well, I have two for male,
He kept
1.1
one
for
solo.
sale, and I have 1.2 that I'm keeping.
Yeah.
So
All right, good.
We want to share in that, but like we'll get one that's just interested in the one, but then they don't get it at all. And then he's like, remember, that's the two I want to sell. I'm like, you need to write that down. And then I can remember which two snakes it is. But that would make a really
they
cool
look
snake.
super cool as
I want
babies
one.
too, but they do change over time, like we were talking about before. So.
Mm-hmm.
They get
Yeah, that one's one where I'm like, if people had stuff lying around and weren't sure what to do with themselves, I think you could make quad, ultra snow, DT Pride Clown, whatever, and you'd just have fun, like show stuff, even if like the pentuple visual, whatever. Who cares? It's fun. I think that one's fun. I don't know. I don't have any grievance with ultra snow. It's more cool to me than like lav snow or albino snow. What are your thoughts on snow?
Sounds like leopard gecko stuff. I don't know. I'm so confused.
The snow.
Max snow?
Max, no.
It's a what is it? It's a xanthic. No, it's not. Remind me what it is. It's
Like xanthic and lavender, or xanthic and regular albino. So like lav snow and snow.
It looks like snow. It's like really white. And
it's got yellow pea in it. That's the best part.
Is that what Roger made? That Snow White thing?
Yeah, and they made with it.
Right, we can't make fun of it too much. Roger and Lori are here. Their feelings will get hurt.
But I like that one.
It was one of the early ones where I said that would be cool to make, and I thought about going down that path, but then
stole it. I'm just kidding.
I didn't know that he was working on that actually. So, but that didn't affect my decision. I did decide to go away from that a little bit.
Yeah, some people are super fans of snow because it was like the original combo that they really liked, like double, and so they just like it still, and like bless their hearts, right? No grief.
Yeah.
It's just I almost wish it would stay all white, or like white and purple, instead of like getting like this hint of dog pee pee.
What?
That's great in there.
You're gonna have to show me pictures later.
Just a little bit of little something. Don't eat the snow, is what I'm saying.
Oh no. Should name it something.
But I did decide to go lavender albino pied, so the dreamsicle
Yellow
path
snow.
Instead.
Yeah, I've like gotten rid of all my lav albino stuff. I think it's still cool. I can only handle one albino in my collection. What do you think of that theory?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, she pretty.
What? Sorry, say that again.
I can only handle one albino in my collection.
Oh,
like I don't necessarily want a T plus and another T plus and a couple T negs.
Really, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Just have two?
But we do ultramelon and lavender albino, so that's 2 different albinos.
Oh, here's Roger.
But yeah, I mean, you just keep them separate.
Yeah, well, how many recessives do you want to have for your goals? Collection size, building size. You know what I mean? That's what I'm maybe started getting at too.
Yeah, I need that giant shit for how many recessive I have right now. But like the Dreamsicle project it's really just a couple snakes that I'm playing with.
You're just like a side quest.
A main project
is Ultramel.
Yeah, Ultramel, and then also the Dreamsicle are kind of
okay
on the side. I'm not making a lot of them. I don't plan on making a lot like in the future, but really that Clown Xanthic Desert Ghost is the main one of them.
How many clutches do you think you want in the future? Max.
Probably not more than 20. Like is where I'm kind of at right now, because 9 was doable last year. Made it through pretty easy, but I feel like we can get up to 20, and then for the time being, I still have a full-time job that I have to do.
Job.
And
that's good, actually, honestly. So around 20 clutches a year, and how many females would you want to be making that many? Like 40, and like you don't have that high of a turnover, or 80, and like a lot of them are kind of younger, and you're just turning them over a little faster.
I mean, from what people say, there's always a percentage that reabsorb or don't go or something like that. So if I'm going to have 20 clutches, probably need at least 30 females up to size. But then,
right,
like you said, obviously going to grow up the holdbacks and kind of turn them over. I don't want to keep the adults for too longer than I need them.
Well, it's going to be like, remember MTV Cribs? That's what we're going to do for the enclosure. Come on, follow me. And then all these freaking rooms of all these animals. So,
well, that'd be nice. It would be nice if, like, if you have a lot of animals, but not like an insane amount. You could have like bigger racks. You could have 90 series or something too. Like you could have nicer.
Don't we have the big ones?
Ball python tubs.
We don't have
They're
any
already
90
huge.
series, but
Well, I have to get on a ladder just to get up there. Things be flying.
That's what I think about. Like if I had a 5,000 square foot canoa facility, I could have hundreds of adult females, but I don't really want that. But I could give them bigger spaces and have fun too. You know,
I would rather that.
More enrichment.
I am that person. What would be really cool is to have all of the female breeders in their own nice enclosures, all visually like MTV Cribs. It'd be like all along the walls.
6x2x2s.
Well, even just 4x2x2, but I don't know. We have six. We have six enclosures that I put our favorite ones in. You know, First one, Darian.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm sure you like them.
But the rack system is way easier.
Yes. Yeah, I don't even know if they have to come out of a rack, but like if I had 5,000 square feet, I would probably put them in 90 series.
How many?
To be perfectly honest.
2,400.
2,400 square feet.
That's pretty good. I'm in. I got a 4-car garage, and I'm like, it's not enough space.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 40 by 60, but most of it's gonna be other, like we're putting the camper in there and everything. So
okay, so like part of it will be like sectioned off for like AC purposes.
Yeah, rat room, and then
because like the rat room's got to be colder than the snake room, so it'll all be sectioned off and individually taken care of.
I'm probably gonna have like a little office space where I have a quarantine rack where.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You should do it, even if you don't do it along the way, although that would be cool too. At least like a YouTube walkthrough.
Cribs.
I like watching people's cribs because how people like build out their like shed is actually really interesting to me.
One of my favorite shows in the early 2000s.
Yeah, we'll try to make some stuff. Put it on our YouTube channel.
I don't know the YouTube channel. He does the YouTube channel.
I need to do a YouTube channel. I do like 3 sad videos a year, and then I'm like, well, I'm on the internet twice a week almost. So it's like, if you really wanted to know what I'm doing, just come to the Dumb Podcast, right? But then I'm like, but nobody knows what my collection's doing really unless they follow on Instagram.
Yeah, I really just use it for like proof that I'm actually breeding, and here's all the hatchlings, and that's really all I use.
Fine. That's fine.
So that people can verify that I'm actually doing this breeding and have like if they're looking on Morph Market, then like sometimes I've seen some Morph Market with a low number of ratings, kind of like we have, and then I have to go and see if they're real, and if I can't find them anywhere else, then it's obviously they're not real. So
but you're real. Well, hypothetically, they could even just Google your business name, and it would bring up all the YouTube, like the 15 Minutes Lame. You were on that, so they can see all of that, and I think that would prove you're real. Awesome.
Is that the first thing that comes up?
I don't know. We could do it.
No.
Oh, I don't think you want to Google
beauty in the balls. You better get that wording right, man. Beauty deep in balls.
No, Google's pure. Okay, so it's you, your Morph Market, your Instagram, your YouTube, and then so it's perfect.
And then there's also beauty products that are balls that you.
And no other balls beauty combinations. That's pretty good.
What is that? Google.
Yeah.
What was that? What kind of Google do you have?
It's just gross.
Google.
It's the other pages. They get extra words at the bottom.
I don't know if I've ever scrolled the bottom like that. I don't know.
Never?
Not on a laptop. I don't know. It doesn't do that. It just says show more on a phone.
That's fine.
Does it? I don't know. I have a phone. It's nice. I prefer doing things on desktop because then I get to type and whatever. I have 2 giant screens, so I'm cross-referencing spreadsheets and doing stuff, and I don't know.
He does it on his phone, his spreadsheets for all the feeding schedules and stuff. He has to zoom in, zoom out.
I do too. When I'm setting up babies, I'll be I don't know. I'll pop them, I'll morph them, I'll put them in their spreadsheet. But when I come in and have to deeply think about the universe, I need multiple spreadsheets open and multiple displays.
I do the same way.
don't tell anybody I work with, but I do the same thing at work.
Oh, he opens the snake stuff at work.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sometimes I'll sit at night, like before I'm going to bed, and like think about things in like a detached way, but I also just like to look at it and just like compute what's going on, because I'm like,
See it all.
Right, and I'll do future pairings.
Like Iron Man.
I wish I had Jarvis. That'd be a fire. I'd be like, Jarvis, work on this pairing for me, because eventually you have so many animals, and I have so many animals of so many species. It's actually like a lot to both keep track of and like compute the best way to process what's going on. So sometimes, I don't know, there should be a service where you just like, you don't pay them to like critique your breeding stuff. You pay them to give you like every permutation of advice on it. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to pivot to a smaller model, this bigger model, that
something.
Pet focus here.
It's like one of those movies where you can see the future and then you can change so they can see all the different.
Right. Exactly.
All
right. I think we did it. Any other thoughts? What shows are you coming up soon? I know ARPE, but like, is there anything before that? Daytona?
Daytona's our next one. We took off the summer because it's Noah's last summer before he starts kindergarten. So we kind of didn't do many shows except for the South Haven one this summer. But yeah, starting with the Daytona show, then it's like one almost every other week, it seems. At least one or two a month.
Yeah. It's going to be a fire fall. I just have a feeling. Because I feel like there's like a different vibe this year than last year.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like we have a whole lot more, like all kinds of different stuff too. I feel like the Daytona show is going to be better for us this year.
Yeah, we have a little bit.
I think
higher.
Is there only
quality.
Like one that we're bringing that we brought last year? The $1,400 one?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah. Are we
going
going
to be bringing like a higher price point spread of ball pythons to Daytona?
Than last year.
It's pretty spread though. I mean, we still have like a $150 one, you know?
Yeah, that's fine. It's just like sometimes like when the top end goes up, the mean goes up on accident because like it's pushing it over.
I'd really like to sell that expensive one at the Daytona show. I think that'd be really cool.
I've been carrying around a $1,600 boa to the last 2 or 3 shows, and I'm like, it's about to stay home, not go to any shows pretty soon.
Well, we didn't have this one already, but we have the sibling that we got 2 of them.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's buy one sell.
Yeah, we got 2 that are
Like
they're het desert ghosts, but then it had all the genes in the whole combination. So it was and there's 2 of them, which was pretty awesome. So we're keeping one and selling the other. But so we don't need to keep the second one. So
good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for coming on, and they can find your inventory on Morph Market and more exhaustive inventory on Instagram. If they message you?
Message us anyway.
Yeah. Mostly everything's on Morph Market. We put all the pairings and stuff. So as they come out of the eggs, I take pictures and post them on that section. Where the
like not for sale yet.
What's it called? Yeah, where the eggs
pre-established.
Yeah, so I don't really post them pre-established, but I post pictures of all the clutches there. Okay. So that's the best place to look for our inventory.
And then we answer we always have our phones on us. So we answer any of those. Instagram, Facebook. I mean, you can message us for our phone number. We'll probably give it to you.
Yeah, like you demonstrated, just Google it.
Yeah, just
Google the name and find everything.
Google
Absolutely. And if you want a special order downstairs for ARPE.
Oh, yeah. If you want a special order anything, you need to let me know.
Right. She can pick it up. You don't even know.
Because I'm going to convince him to let me go to Florida again. So I'm going to go down there for some good stuff.
You can even do like girls' weekend or whatever. What do you think about that? You and Lori, RV or U-Haul or something. Try not to crash and stay sober.
We did that. That's what I just did about a month ago. And it was fun. I feel like the more people you bring, though, the less plants you can buy. So I think I only want to bring like one other person when I go next time. So
Okay.
Yeah. You got to get down and get back too. It's a
Yeah.
business trip. It's not a
Right.
Plus,
Not
all
for
the
pleasure.
plants will die. It's too hot.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for having us, though.
All right. And
Yeah.
then Raven just came in. Sorry, Raven, you have to watch it on the rewind. Bye. Bye, Banana. Bye, everybody. See you Saturday for the member live.